sword, 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 sword.
Hey guys, hello gorgeous. It's been a while. Time for another 360 swag review. This time I'm taking a look at a replica sword from Game of Thrones. It's Jon Snow's Longclaw. This was actually a gift I got for my brother, who is a huge Game of Thrones fan. As I mentioned in my Game of Thrones review, he got me all of the Game of Thrones seasons on Blu-ray. And I loved them so much, I wanted to get him a little something as a show of appreciation. A big little something. The sword is available from Valyrian Steel, but I got mine through ThinkGeek. A word of warning for people who like their boxes in pristine condition, mine was really smashed by the time it got to my door. I don't know if it's because I'm in Canada and it has to travel a little further, but it did receive a couple of dents and dings, but luckily nothing inside was damaged. The wall mount plaque and the sword were in perfect condition. You might also need help getting the slipcover off of the styrofoam box that holds the sword. It's a really tight fit, but you're probably not going to hang the box on the wall. It's all about the contents. Included is this absolutely beautiful wall mount. I gotta say, I'm really impressed by the craftsmanship here. No dents, dings, scratches, scuffs, and the print work here is perfect too. The oath reads as follows: "Night gathers, and now my watch begins. It shall not end until my death. I shall take no wife, hold no lands, father no children. I shall wear no crowns, and win no glory. I shall live and die at my post. I am the sword in the darkness. I am the watcher on the walls. I am the fire that burns against the cold, the light that brings the dawn, the horn that wakes the sleepers, the shield that guards the realms of men. I pledge my life and honor to the Night's Watch for this night and all the nights to come." If that doesn't give you chills, I don't know what will. There are other versions of this sword that come with a wall mount that features the Stark family emblem of the direwolf, but I think the Night's Watch was a great idea. It was a very important part of Jon Snow's development on the show. And here's the look at the two pegs that screw into the wall mount, which is where you hang the sword up. And these are really nice too. A lot of the time these wall mounts just have simple hooks that the swords rest on, but these are beautiful. And here's the main attraction: Longclaw, the sword of the White Wolf, Jon Snow. Stand not included. So a little bit of backstory for the people who haven't seen the show, or a refresher for those that don't remember. The sword originally belonged to Jeor Mormont, the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. And since his family sigil is the bear, it's assumed that it had a bear on the handle.
I thought a wolf was more appropriate for you than a bear.
The sword was supposed to go to Jeor's son, Jorah Mormont, aka Jorah the Andal. But since Jorah left Westeros in disgrace, Jeor decided to give it to the promising young Jon Snow. He replaced the bear on the handle with a white wolf to match Jon Snow's direwolf, Ghost, and kept the same name, figuring Longclaw works for both bears and wolves. I have quite a few swords in my collection, and I have to say I am extremely impressed by the quality of this sword.
This is Valyrian steel.
Some of the ninja, samurai, and Lord of the Rings replica swords that I own have little issues like a warble in the blade or a loose hilt if you shake it, but this thing is sturdy and solid. While the blade isn't sharp, it kind of sort of feels like it is. It's kind of hard to explain. You're not going to cut your finger running it over the blade, but there is a bit of an edge there, so it gives you a nice tang sound when you run your finger over it. The wolf on the handle is gorgeous. It's metal, painted white, with shading on it, a hole for the wolf's mouth, and my favorite part, ruby red eyes. The eyes look amazing. They're not too bright, but when the light catches them right, they just glow ever so slightly. A lot like Ghost himself. One side of the blade does have an inscription on it saying Sword of Jon Snow, Longclaw, but that's the same side that has the seam on the leather covering the handle, so neither of those will be seen when you hang it on the wall. Ironically enough, the sword of the bastard Jon Snow is a bastard sword, which is a term used to describe a hand-and-a-half sword. The balance allows it to be either a one-handed sword or a two-handed sword. And even though it's not an actual long sword, this thing still feels really, really long. It is big and heavy. My brother and I are both 6'2", and this thing still feels gigantic in our hand.
That's a man's sword. Take a man to wield it.
The handle has a really nice grip on it as well. Really nice leather used here. I'm just so impressed by how solid everything feels. When I'm holding a sword, I like to spin it around a bit, and there's no rattle here. This thing truly is a work of art. Beautiful metal used, just the perfect amount of polish on the blade. And even though the hilt doesn't look all that interesting in pictures, it's really nice in person as well. Beautifully constructed sword, and beautifully reproduced by Valyrian steel. If you don't own any swords in your collection and you've never really given it any thought, I highly recommend picking one up, whether it's this one or another one. There's something so powerful about a sword, even if you don't know how to use it. Just gripping it, holding it, looking at it. I find them very inspiring. Unlike a gun, a sword feels like an extension of yourself. A sharp, honed, forged-in-fire extension of yourself. I've let many of my friends pick up my swords like Leonidas' saber, and Gandalf's Glamdring, Theoden's Harrogrim, and Enduril, the Flame of the West. And the reaction is always the same. Wonder and awe. It's not just a neat, kitschy, cool pop culture trinket. There's something really mystical about them, especially magical swords like Longclaw, made out of Valyrian steel. So if you're a huge Game of Thrones fan, I highly recommend picking this one up.
Yes, my lord.
Got something to say about Longclaw? Scroll down and go to town. And to join the nerd tribe, hit subscribe. Valar Morghulis.